God, it's a hot day. It's my first time out here for about probably 3 weeks because I just haven't had time at all. As you can see, I've taken the opportunity to paint the Puch Maxi forks for the Puch Maxi S as well. It's about 30 degrees in the shade today, and yeah, I've been digging. I've moved, I don't know if you can see through there, I've filled up 2 ton bags, like properly full, like a ton each, with soil from in here today so far, in about an hour and a bit. So I'm getting it done, hopefully, as quick as I can, because I really need to get this finished soon. The security wall is not looking so secure anymore. I think we may have a breach somewhere by animals, probably. But yeah, I really want to get a gate up here this weekend, ready for half-term holidays that are coming up, so the kids can go out in the garden, because I can then move all the bikes and everything down the bottom of the garden, and that means that they can have the garden back without worrying about bikes falling on them or anything like that. But yeah, it's shorts and steel toe cap shoes weather today, so I'll crack on. So I've just had my lunch, the first thing I've eaten today. It's nearly 1:20. So I've cleared all of this now, and it looks to me like it's quite a big slope down there, so I thought they'd take a lot of digging out, but I've developed this method of seeing how level it is. It's not foolproof, but I've got a load of bamboo canes, you see there's a line of them there, and marked them all in the same place, so 10 centimetres up, and about probably 45 or 50 centimetres up. I've put them in the ground until the black mark on the bottom, the 10 centimetre one, is level with the top of the ground, and then use a spirit level to measure between the black marks that are further up to see whether or not it's level. And so far we're not far off. So actually, I just need to, between these two, there's a lump I need to dig out, and then that's it. I've made a hole in the hedge out onto the lane. That there is a post hole, the first post hole. It's not deep enough yet, it needs to be 2'6" at least. But there's the posts, 10-foot posts, and there's going to be one there, one just past the middle, which is behind this fence panel, and one in that corner, and there's going to be, that section there is just going to be panelled off, and then there's going to be a big double gate leading out onto the lane. So that's as far as I've got. This is mostly level, and I'm trying to get that spurious fence post out at the moment, because that's the boundary, and there's another fence post. Right, let's see, yeah, so there's that one, which is not needed. That one's the boundary to the bottom of the garden. And there's another one just there, which is also not needed. It's the other one to go with that, and then behind it just there is the other boundary one. So these two have got to come out. Now I've dug this down pretty far, right down to the post creek that's in, and then I've been trying to bend it off for about 20 minutes, but the rebar won't snap, so I'm going to hammer and chisel it, and then maybe cut it with the angle grinder next. We will see. So yeah, still plenty to do, but I've actually done something different. Here's how we're looking from the lane. So it's going to be all gate that looks like fence to about roughly there. I managed to wobble the fence post out in the end, so that's pretty cool. There's the hole it came from. I did take another one of these out elsewhere in the garden a while ago, and it was 6 or 7 foot long. This only looks like a 4-foot one, but it was only stuck out the ground about 1.5 foot, the other one, something like that. So I was expecting this to be the same. Luckily it wasn't, because I couldn't find the right disc for my angle grinder. So yeah, that's out. That one's next. Here's the first post hole. It's about 2 foot deep at the moment, but it needs to be at least 2.5 foot, perhaps 3 foot, depending how much further down I have to dig the soil to make it flat. Well, actually it needs to be, the soil level needs to be 6 inches below the level of the lane, so I can put some concrete base down. Sorry, I'm a bit out of breath. It would be a lot easier with post hole spoons, but I don't have any, and I went to go buy some yesterday and they were 40 quid, and I've already spent 80 quid on 2 long bits of wood and 3 fence posts, so I ain't going to be spending another 40 quid. So what I've done is I've got my spade there for loosening up the bottom, and then I've improvised by hammering this spade around the corner, so I can just use it, go it down the bottom and scoop. So that's quite handy. But it is knackering, really, really knackering. So my back aches, my hand aches, and I've put that bit of wood across to show roughly the height that the concrete will be. Just shy of 3 foot so far, so nearly done. Give you an idea of the hole. This is the straight spade. So there we are, that's how deep I've dug. Now you can see why my back hurts. In order to try and preserve the underground parts of these posts, I've painted them with this weird black sort of rubberized, well, I'll show you the tin. My father-in-law gave me it, so I'm not entirely sure what it is. Flexible damp proofer and waterproofer. So yeah, they've been painted with that up to 4 foot. Now they're only going 3 foot under the ground, so there should be a good foot above ground as well to stop the damp going up. It's better than wrapping it in a bin bag. Now normally that sort of thing isn't really recommended, is it, because then the wood can't sweat and all the rest of it, but actually this part is going to be indoors when it's done, so that shouldn't really be getting wet. So once the current crop of moisture from the fact it's been tipping it down today has evaporated, it should stay pretty dry and hopefully not rot off underground, because this is going to be the weak point. When the shed starts to rot, this is going to be the first thing to go. So there we are. Let's get it in the hole now, which is behind there. Shed's nearly finished now, that's it. If I park all my motorbikes on the right side of this, then they'll be sheltered from the rain. Depending which angle it's coming from, I'll have to come out and move them every time it rains. Yeehaw. There we are, the postcrete in. I put a little bit too much water in because my wife rang me at exactly the wrong time, but that'll soak into the floor. But yeah, so that's in. First post, done. I've just got to finish levelling it up now and maybe tamp it down a bit once the water's gone a bit, but it's not... Can I focus without dropping this down a concrete filled hole? Not far off level. Yeah, not far off level, that is it. Sounds like I'm not far off drunk, but I aren't. And that way, not bad at all. So yeah, post number 1. Let's just hope it doesn't move, because last time I put a gate in, it sagged, and then it's terrible now. It doesn't quite close properly without lifting it up and faffing around. So here's a quick explanation of what I'm actually building, because I haven't actually mentioned anything about that to you yet. And I've never actually drawn it out either, so that'll be interesting. Excuse the blue crayon, it's all I could find. But anyway, here's the bottom of the garden. How am I going to do this with one hand? Wait a minute. Just for a change, I hadn't thought it through. But anyway, sellotape, sorted. So here is the boundary at the edge of my garden. And this is the lane. And then here we have a tree there, another tree here. So basically what I'm going to do is have basically all this as shed, so the back wall of it is going to be against the back boundary of the garden. I'm going to have a bit of a gap there because there's a hedge down this bit which I need to be able to get access to cut, so I'm going to keep all my garden machinery and stuff in there. And then we're going to have a wall that goes around the tree like that, and then this bit's going to actually be a bit bigger like that, so there's like a bit of a hedge here as well, and my trailer's going to go in there. I'm going to have to work out a way to get it in and then slide it sideways into that gap. The door is going to be here and here. So we've got exit out onto the lane. There's going to be another door about here-ish. I've got a window that I'm going to put in somewhere here, and a smaller window that I'm going to put in about there. And then I'm planning on having a bench that runs probably about there. Oh, that's not very straight, is it? bench like that. Bike's parked under the bench. Maybe some storage for parts and stuff over here. Shelves above the trailer in there. And a desk at the bottom with a computer on it. And printer and all that stuff. And then probably more bikes up here. There's going to be a sink about here. Sort of behind the door. So yeah, that's the general plan. It doesn't look amazing, but the main thing with it is, rather than have people trying to break in, because there's a little footpath runs down the back of the house as well, I'm going to make it look like just a fence from the outside, and a fence, sort of a gate here, so it looks like there's maybe a hard standing or a driveway behind it. So yeah, it should not draw too much attention to itself. So that is the plan. Just to give you an idea of exactly what I meant, so the wall's going to start near that hedge, but not all the way up to it. It's going to come around this tree here, and then along here. That branch is coming off the tree here, so we're going to go in like that, across, then this bit's going to be a panel to about there, and then from there to where I put the post in, which is just there, is the double door, which is going to be about 3 meters wide altogether, so 2 1.5 meter doors. And then all of this here is going to be fence panelled, and then there's the path that runs across the back of it. Yeah, so that's about it really. That trailer there is going in this gap here, which it should just about fit. I may have to do something to make the drawbar detachable. And yeah, that's about it really. It's going to be probably sort of shelving starting about 3 foot, 2 foot, something like that off the ground, coming up to roof height, with probably some of those plastic produce trays I use on it. Yeah, so pretty excited about it getting going really. Although all I've done is put 1 post in so far, so I won't get too excited. Right, the 3 posts are in and we've got a crossbar up. That's the only one that's concreted in at the moment, but there will be more. This one is ready for concrete. That one's ready for concrete. I borrowed my father-in-law's post hole digging spoons, which weren't much help on that one, which I'd already done 2 foot just with the spades, but with that one I got it done in no time, so well worth the money. But those are really dear looking ones. So anyway, there's the 3 posts. 1, 2, 3. They're level, they're attached at the moment just by that bar at the top and being kept level like that, so I'm going to get some postcrete in dead quick and then see about starting the gate for this. Now I'll have run out of money for the next 2 weeks, I think. I've got some more timber coming, but I'm not going to have time, going to be able to finish this, so I can use the time building the frame for the gate and cladding it in polythene probably for now. So yeah, there we are. Another 100 quid's worth of stuff coming soon. Here's a pro tip: if like me you've got a big hole in the bottom of your garden and there's not very much stopping people coming in and getting scrap metal, here's a quick and easy way to block it up. Firstly, you need to remove any tree branches, hay bales, metal panelling off old fridges and anything else that might be in your way. If this step strikes you as unnecessary, then don't do it, I suppose, or at least half do it.